If you care to come along on our custom bunk bed journey, this is the before and the after, and this is how we did it. All right, so the first thing I've done is I've cut back a little bit of the carpet here. I want to get an exact measurement up to 50 inches on the wall. 50 inches will make 5 rises of 10 inches each. And that's a little bit out of building code spec, but you commonly see that in bunk beds. So I'm gonna get an exact measurement of 50 inches onto the wall. You're gonna wanna lay that out for whatever you want your deck height to be on your upper bunk. And we decided on 50 because we have about 8 feet where our cathedral ceiling starts and then 9 feet at the top. So that should still leave enough space to be comfortable on both levels. Decided to pencil out our layout on the walls. I think this is easiest to do with a pencil and a level. If you have a laser level, that makes it super nice and easy too. We adjusted our deck height to 54 inches tall. I think that'll give a little extra headroom to the sleeper that's on the bottom bunk. And at 54 inches, that means our rise is 10 and 13/16. And we just decided to do 10-inch runs. You can see here, we'll come down here where we'll have a platform come out and then one last step. And we'll continue to show you this project as it rolls. When you're framing your walls, remember that it's easiest to put all your top and bottom plates together and then mark them together. That way when you separate them, all your marks are exactly the same as long as you've lined up the edges of your boards. So right now I'm just laying out the studs for each of the top and bottom plates. These will be our 2 walls, and essentially framing in a little window. As you can see, that's the little nook and shelf that each of the kids will have on each one of their walls. So then you separate the top and the bottom plates. You just move your vertical studs into place, and this makes it a lot quicker and easier to lay out your walls. Of course, you'll frame all your walls laying down and then just stand them up. So right now I'm just marking out the window, as those will be more horizontal studs. Separate those two, and then you nail the wall together. I've really enjoyed this battery-powered framing nailer. I got it at Lowe's. It's a Metabo. It's been very sufficient for any time that I'm not doing major framing, and nice to not have to roll out the air tank and the hose every time I need to do a little job. So there's the 2 walls. You can see the windows in them. There they are, stood up. You really do need to pull back your carpet and pad. Make sure those go down onto solid framing. So after you stand up the 2 walls, your next step will be to frame platforms. I decided to do platforms. Typically I do stair stringers, but really I had to do a number of platforms anyway, and so I only had to do 1 extra platform versus additional stair stringers. So the middle platform, you can see there, and then I wanted to do the step along the entire rest of the bottom. And then it really, as you can see, just framing out a box and another step. I put my son to work, setting some nails, and then having him finish some nails for us. So these are the platforms upon which the beds will sit. There's the first one in place. I decided to use 2x6. I had walls on 2 sides to tie into, and then also sheathing that top bunk with 3/4 tongue and groove style flooring that I had left over from another job. Really made it quite sturdy. I've been up on that bunk with a couple of my boys, and I think it can hold 500, 600, 700 pounds without any issue. So now we've put some of the flooring down. We started, I think it was easiest for me to work from top to bottom. So going from the bottom up with the shiplap, you can see we got the shiplap on the ceiling, on the walls. This makes for a ton of cuts, but I really like the look of it when it was done. And then I used almost a full sheet of MDF to kind of cover our stair stringers or stair platforms. And here's where we're about to do the shiplap on the other side. Helps a ton to have someone hold that up and in place as you go. I always do 1 nail in the groove on each stud, and then 1 nail down in the body on each stud, especially when you're going on the ceiling. Just make sure that stays up. Your cuts don't have to be super exact on one end if you're going to trim them out, but I like to butt them in on the other end so they are super nice and tight. Makes it really easy to just caulk that inside joint. And then you can see the trim that goes on the outside to cover up really any discrepancy, if that's a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, however short it is. and then you continue to trim those out with sill material, or I just ripped MDF, and that worked really well also. You can see we built a little pony wall to make it so you don't fall off the top bunk, and then decided to use our shiplap scraps to cover that pony wall. Each of the windows essentially like a 5-piece window. So you're going to have a sill, 2 sides, and then you see me nailing up here, header, and then I did an apron below the sill as well. This helps just trim it out. Then you go to town, caulking, filling nail holes. There's, of course, going to be probably 1,000 of those to do, so it helps if you've got little hands to help out. So now I'm counting all the different cuts and all the different pieces on each side. This ended up being a really pretty long project. You can tackle it. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of cuts, probably 100 cuts each side. And then the stairs take a lot of time as well. Masking for paint. Whew, that was probably a day in and of itself, but I really wanted to spray it so that you get more of that furniture type look. So this is all masked out, sprayed the walls, sprayed all the shiplap and the steps. We used LVP for our steps and to be able to slide the mattresses on and off. So this is the final reveal. I love demasking, and here you can see we've got our boys' beds, an upper bunk, a lower bunk. That lower bunk you could fit a queen really easily as well, and do a twin over queen with the steps up in the middle. I've never really seen before. Hope you all had fun watching this. Reach out in the comments if you need any more pictures or if you've got any questions on your project, and have fun doing it.